Welcome to the beautiful world of aquascaping to the Green Aqua Gallery. Do you have a planted tank that you like but not completely happy with it? Would you like to build a stunning aquascape in your home? If the answer is yes, then this episode is just perfect for you. I'm going to take this aquarium and I'm going to boost it for you guys, adding some plants and hardscape to it. Join us on this beautiful autumn day.
Salty, I'll still think about it.
We can take my Lambo. I'll put on a tight show. You sure you can handle? We be faster than Django.
Can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
As I said, this episode is mainly for you guys who already have a planted tank but not completely happy with it. But what about those who have a nice fish tank at home, not the planted tank but the regular type fish tank? Well, the bad news is that you will probably have to change just a little bit more things about it. First of all, you probably have some pebbles or sand on the bottom of the tank, and these inert substrates are not really good for two reasons. One, the inert substrates are not helping you with the filtration. Not many bacteria can thrive in it. Secondly, plant roots do not really like to stay in inert substrates, which means that you probably will need some clay-based substrate, but in order to do that, you will need to empty the tank, take the fish out, and start everything from scratch.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
We have nice videos about that, so if you want to check the Green Aqua YouTube channel, you will find some videos on how to set up a nice planted aquarium from scratch. Check them out. Another problem is the technology behind the regular fish tank. You will probably need a stronger light, like we have here, or you will probably need a stronger filtration, like we have here. This tank is a 60 by 30 by 36 centimeter tank, 64 liters, Opti-White ADA glass tank, which has the ADA garden stand, a beautiful glass stand below it. And the lighting is the ADA AQUASKY 601 Moon, which you see in the back, actually. And we will change this later. I will talk about it why. Aquarium filtration is the ADA Superjet ES-600, which has been designed to be good for 36 centimeter high ADA tanks. And it has the ADA glass in and outflows, the ADA BioRio, and the Seachem Purigen filter media in it. As I told you before, having a good quality filter media is very, very important for a nice tank to have the ammonia decomposed into nitrates. This is the basis of the modern planted tank hobby, so please make sure that you have a strong filtration underneath your tank.
You sure you can handle? Okay. We can take my Lambo. I'll put on a tight show. You sure you can handle? We be faster than Django.
We have a pressurized CO2 system here with the ADA Music 20D diffuser, and we have like other accessories as well, like the Eheim skimmer and the Twinstar M5 sterilizer, which helps us in almost all tanks to get rid of algae or to avoid algae bloom. As in many other tanks in the gallery, we are using the ADA fertilizer, the liquid fertilizer system to have ferts for the plants.
Can't stop.
And what kind of plants we're using, you can see the list here now. We have the Eleocharis acicularis mini in the foreground. We have the Anubias nana mini. We have Myriophyllum Guyana, Rotala Vietnam, HRA, the beautiful red plant in the background. You have Hygrophila pinnatifida, which is a nice fern type. And we have the Cryptocorinne albida brown here, which I thought is pinnatifida at the beginning because the leaf shape is a lot similar. Obviously, pinnatifida is a little bit more rugged on the surface, but it looks, the colors are exactly the same like pinnatifida in this tank, at least under this light. Okay, what else we have? We have Marsilia crenata in the foreground to have some detail and break the homogeneity of the Eleocharis, and we have the Graziola viscidula, which is a nice little stem plant in the middle, and that adds just a little bit more green to the tank itself, which obviously, as you can see here, it's reddish. And let's talk about lighting a little bit. I'm going to switch to lighting because we had the idea to try, with this kind of reddish look, to try a different light here, and this one is the Twinstar 600S. So I'm gonna remove the moon and I'm gonna introduce the Twinstar 600S for you guys. And the reason why we switch is that the Twinstar Light is a little bit more reddish than the moon light, which means that it will bring up the redness of the plants, and we're gonna really like the whole change in this tank in particular. So let's check it out. See the difference? Very visible. You want me to change it? Let's do it. So 1, 2, right? Let's talk about what I want to change here. First, I don't really like that there's no transition between the foreground and the background. The stem plants and the whole hardscape starts at once, so you have this kind of transition between the foreground and the background. I don't really like that. I would really love to have something that goes smoothly from the front towards the back, which means that you will have some perspective to the tank. Secondly, I want to introduce some more plants to add more detail to it. The more detail you have in a tank, the better, because the size will seem bigger if there are more details in the tank. Okay, so let's start working, guys. Come with me. Okay, so I'm going to show you what kind of plants I want to introduce in this tank. Superjet repens, the first one. The second one is the Rotala bonsai. The third one is the Alternatera Reiniki mini. The fourth one is the Bucephalandra SP Lamandau mini red. I have 3 of these right here. And then I have the Bucephalandra SP red. I have 2 of those here. So I'm going to introduce these plants. As you can see, most of them are reddish plants, and they're going to go well with the already reddish tint of the aquarium. Let me take my mandatory gloves, and I'm going to start working on the tank by putting the light a little bit towards the back so that it won't obstruct me while I'm working. I don't want to switch off the filter because I'm going to introduce some rocks, and these are Frodo stones. So I'm going to take some Frodo stones, hold it with one hand because I'm a strong guy, and I'm going to introduce them in the middle. You don't see the first rock because it's very small, but I'm going to put the second one on the top, and you will already start seeing this. I'm going to introduce the third one right there in the front. I'm going to lean it against the wood, and I'm going to put the big one in here. So you can already see that the water started pouring out. So I'm gonna just take off some water.
I'll put on a tight show. You sure you can handle? We be faster than Django.
I will try to find a nice graduation towards the right side to make a triangle composition here. I'm introducing as many rocks as I can. I don't worry about their placements too much, because I'm going to use the wood to compensate for what's happening here. Okay, I'm going to introduce some more in the foreground as well to add some detail to the tank. This one here. I'm receiving instructions from Victor, so you guys can blame Victor if you don't like what we're doing here. I'm happy with this now. I'm going to introduce some wood, and I'm going to put the wood in. So my main idea is to keep the wood going from the left side to the right side, and I'm going to try to introduce all other elements to go together with that idea if I can. I'm going to introduce the plants, so I'm going to take the bigger Bucephalandras, and I'm going to put them in between the rocks towards the back. And then I'm going to go with the Lamandau mini red, which goes to the foreground. And after I'm ready, I'm going to go with the planting Superjet repens, and I'm going to put this plant into the midground to get the transition from the foreground to the background, and I'm gonna put some more in the grass just to form a little bit bushy effect here. Note that I didn't stop the filter at all. We pre-washed the wood and the stones before we introduced them in the tank. So the tank will be not very cloudy. The ongoing filter will also help us with that. I have some stem plants that do not grow really big. The name is Rotala bonsai. I'm going to introduce Rotala bonsai, which is a stem plant that grows about 10 centimeters high. I'm going to just introduce it here between the rocks, hoping that the roots will go down to the bottom or get to the substrate. I'm not pushing it down all the way. I'm just putting it in between the rocks and the wood. So the idea between the planting in this tank is not to have an order, but rather to have a big mixture of all kinds of plants everywhere. This will give a very hectic look to the aquarium, and I'm pretty sure that this is going to be liked by people because it looks something like in the nature. The last plant that I want to introduce is the Alternanthera reiniki mini, which is also a high-growing plant. If you trim it regularly, it will stay low. It has bigger leaves. And then I'm going to do a very quick trimming on the existing plants using the ADA curved scissors. Usually we stop the filter while we're trimming. We didn't do it this time. We want to keep it going. And you can also see that the filter is pushing the plants all over the aquarium. Luckily, most of them will flow up. We don't have any mosses in the tank, so you can just net it out. I'm just taking out as much as I can. Oops, it looks like the stem plants are coming up. I'm gonna tuck it back in. At the beginning, when the roots are not developed yet, you have to be careful when handling the hardscape. Okay, so I'm gonna do some more trimming. I'm gonna go all the way down on the left side, trimming the Rotala HRR, the red stem in the background, leaving some space on the left side of the aquarium empty to have a graduation towards the right. The whole idea behind the trimming of the plants is to have a nice and organized look in your tank. So make sure that if you want this kind of artistic balance in the tank, like I prefer, then you should be very tidy in having straight lines or curves in your aquarium, and let the plant selection to add detail, to add this visual element to the tank instead of having curved lines and all kinds of differences between the plants in this tank. Obviously, when you're making a very sophisticated scape, like a contest tank, you can have all kinds of eye-catching small details, plants sticking out, uneven visual elements like negative space. Right here in this kind of aquascape, I'd say that it's better to just have it aligned and then let the colors dominate. So unfortunately, this is not a live event, so I'm gonna ask my friends who are my biggest critics, what do they think about this aquarium, and I'm gonna let you know. Is it better? Victor says it's good. So I want your opinion. Please tell me what you think about the aquarium. Did it get better? Did it get worse? Or Alright guys, so I really hope that you like the end result of this aquarium boosting session that we did in the previous 15 minutes. It was a very short boosting session. You can do this at home by just buying a couple of plants, buying some hardscape, and then you can just make your aquarium much better in a short time. Okay guys, so I really hope that you like the end result. Please comment and please let us know what you think about the aquarium. I'm going to show you a before-after image now. So this is how it looked before, and this is how it looks now. And this is the comparison between those two. You can see the old version and you can see the new version. Please comment, let us know what you think. So if you have any suggestions as to how we should continue the video series on the Green Aqua YouTube channel, please let us know. We're open to all kinds of suggestions here. If you like us, please subscribe, or you can hit the bell button to get notified of our future uploads. And until next week, goodbye.